Hi you guys, welcome back and welcome to the final video in my CELTA series. Thank you so much for watching all the other videos and sticking with me. As always, I will have the videos linked in the description bar below, so you can check all those out. Also go to my website, gracegoesglobal.com, to see even more information on teaching in CELTA and ESL and all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna jump right into it. This final video is my own personal advice. So you know it's gonna be gold. It's stuff that I kind of wish that I had known before doing the CELTA, and things that I learned along the way that I kind of wish that I had started doing at the very beginning, all that kind of stuff. So I hope that these little tips will be helpful for you, and let's get started. Absolutely 100,000% do the pre-course task. You're not going to go over it in class by any stretch of the imagination, so don't worry about, what if I got this wrong? Am I going to embarrass myself? Blah, blah, blah. No, you don't do any of it in class. I mean, I even did the whole thing and printed it out, and we never even talked about it. However, it does prepare you. It gets your mind thinking about grammar and English and ESL learners and everything like that, especially if you've been out of school for a while. I took the course after about 2 years out of college, and it was hard enough to get back in the academic mindset, whereas a lot of people, were out of school for 10 or 15 years, and I can't imagine what it was like to jump back into like finals week for 4 weeks. So do the pre-course task. It will, do your very best to get everything right, double check, triple check, get someone that knows grammar to quadruple check you. Just do the best you can, but make sure you don't, since you're not going to be going over the pre-course task, don't not do it. That would be a huge mistake. Okay, so first off, there is no required textbook to take the CELTA. When you sign up and you're all paid for and everything, they send you a couple advice reading, I can't even think of, recommended reading, that's the word I'm looking for. Recommended reading, but you don't have to get anything. However, there is one book in particular that I think just everybody should read before they take the CELTA. This is one of the things, I bought it midway through the program, but I didn't even get to really read it during the program because it was so crazy busy. But after I was done, I read it, and oh my gosh, it would have just probably made my life so much easier if I had read this book. It is this book right here, Learning Teaching by Jim Shriver. Everybody in my entire course was like, I wish I had read this before I took the course. It's not like CELTA, got their, program or technique or whatever they call it from this book, but you would be amazed at how just almost word for word CELTA is in this book. Meaning, if you've never taught before and you're really kind of nervous about that, if you read this before taking the CELTA, you'll know what all the acronyms mean, you'll know everything. And I just really wish that I had read this beforehand. I actually bought this from my trainers. They were offering this during the program, and so I went ahead and bought it. It also comes with a disc at the back that has like, I can't think of words today, I'm sorry. It gives like demo lessons and stuff like that. So it's a really, really great book. Since I bought it from my trainers, I bought it at full price, and that was like 50 bucks. So I'm sure you can get it much cheaper if you go through eBay or Amazon or half.com or something like that. So I would most definitely recommend getting this. Another reason that this is important is in all of your writing assignments, you always have to cite at least 2 books or credible sources. And so I could always cite this, and then I would just have to find another thing to cite, and you could use websites as long as they were official and credible. And I mean, my school itself, my location, had kind of a library of ESL books and everything that you could look through, and so I could use those. However, none of the other books were anywhere near as helpful as this one was. So I mean, they had all these different ones. I wish I could even think of them. But I looked at all the other ones that were on the recommended reading for the CELTA program, and I looked at all those and I wasn't super impressed, but this one is definitely something that you should look into. It will save you lots of stress, and it will help you to understand things. So if you can get this and read this before the program, you're golden. Another thing that is extremely crucial is staying organized. You're going to be handed so many handouts and just so much. I can't even comprehend how much stuff. But every single day, at the end of the day, I went into the workroom and I hole punched all of my handouts and put them in my binder. And you would not believe how many times I went back to those. I'm still going back to those. Even now, like preparing to be a real teacher, I'm looking over those handouts and I use them before my Skype interviews with the schools across the world. It's so important that you are able to get to those handouts because the trainers are going to refer back to them and they're going to want you to bring them right back out, 3 days later or whatever it is. So make sure you stay organized. Don't just fold them up and toss them in your bag or, oh, I'm not gonna need this, so throw that away. No, don't throw anything away. Just stay organized. It's really tricky because there's so much going on, but you will feel so much clearer in your mind if you are organized. That is so crucial. Another bit of advice is to remember that this is through Cambridge University. I mean, if you went to an Ivy League school, if you went to Yale or Harvard or, Oxford or wherever you went, then maybe this course won't be super crazy. But for someone like me, I went to a little state school in Alabama, and not that it wasn't a good education, it totally was, but it probably wasn't the most difficult academically education in the whole world. So I did kind of have to put in perspective that this is through Cambridge University and it's a tough course and they expect excellence. And so just go into it knowing that you are taking a course through one of the most respected universities in the entire world, if not maybe the most respected. So just remember that academically it's gonna be a challenge. I mean, you are teaching the basics of English, so as long as you're a native speaker, you're not teaching geometry or chemistry or something that is really difficult, but just the matter of the excellence that is expected from you, you just have to be prepared for that. Okay guys, this should be totally self-explanatory, but don't procrastinate. You can't procrastinate in this course, and I am the queen of procrastination, so if I'm telling you don't procrastinate, don't procrastinate. Oh my gosh, you can't be like, oh, I'll do that tomorrow night. No, you won't, because you'll have 1,000 things due tomorrow night that you have to do. Have kind of a little checklist after every single, day. You're like, I have to do this tonight, I have to do this tonight, I have to do this tonight, and do it. Don't be like, oh, I'll do that in the morning. No, you won't. You gotta do it then. Do it, just do it. I can't stress that enough. You can't get behind on these assignments. You have to be ready every single day because you don't know what's going to be thrown at you. So just do it to it, okay? Okay. My next bit of advice is it should be self-explanatory, but you need to have an open mind and an open heart when you go into CELTA, meaning if you have 5 or 10 years of teaching experience, don't go into CELTA thinking like, hey, I got this. You guys can learn so much from me. I've been doing the same teaching technique for the last 10 years, and so I don't need this. No, you do not want to have that attitude. You want to have a completely fresh, willing to soak in everything that the trainers are teaching, because not only does ESL lessons, they're totally different than anything. I mean, if you've taught, science or English, meaning literature, before, teaching ESL is totally different. So you can't rely on those techniques that you used when teaching, a high school science class. So you just need to be able to soak things in. Another thing that also is probably common sense is you just kind of have to swallow your pride and jump in. Everything you're doing every single day is going to make you nervous, especially if you're a shy person and you're not crazy about getting in front of people, or you think you don't know the answers or anything like that. You just need to jump in, answer questions, throw out the answers to what your trainers are asking you, volunteer for stuff. That's one thing that I really learned from this program versus my time in college. I was homeschooled my whole way up through school, and so I kind of have just learned that I teach myself, and if I can't figure something out, I'm not going to bother the teacher, I'm just going to figure it out myself. However, from the teacher's perspective, that kind of makes it look like you're not participating or you don't care. However, it's completely opposite of that. So during my college time, I didn't really ask many questions or, present many answers because I was just like, I'll figure it out myself. I don't want to bother the professor. But during the CELTA, I asked so many questions and I threw out answers, and a lot of times they were wrong, but it showed that I was thinking, and it showed that I was, participating, and I was really, really invested in it. Where my professors at college, I don't think liked me very much because they thought I didn't care, and it was so opposite of that. I cared so much, but I just didn't want to bother them. And so during the CELTA, I was very vocal, and my trainers knew me really well, and I think they were really invested in me, and I was invested in them, and I was invested in my future. And it's just really important to just throw out your inhibitions and just go for it. And this is only 4 weeks of your life, and it's really expensive, so throw everything you have into it. That's really important. Ask questions. Hopefully your trainers are awesome. They should be, and they want to answer questions. And as I said before, they want to see that you're invested in it and that you're really thinking about it and you're serious about this course. So ask, 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 ask lots of questions. My last bit of advice is to keep everything in perspective. As I talked about in, I think, my third video, that the first 3 or 4 days you are going to want to die. You are going to feel like it is completely impossible to do the things that you're supposed to do. Like, how do you have time to do these things? You do. And just remember that it is only 4 weeks. I checked off every single day that when it was done, and it felt so good. And it's amazing how long it feels, but also how short. Obviously in hindsight it feels like a blink of an eye. And so you just have to remember that thousands of people have done this before you. You're in this together with 11 other trainees. You can do this. You can do this. And you just have to keep it in perspective that you are investing in your future. And that really is what CELTA is. If you want to be an ESL teacher and you want to make a career out of this, CELTA is the way to go. And it's a very, very intense 4 weeks, but it's crucial. And in the long run, you will really, really appreciate your perseverance for doing the CELTA, because it will pay off in the end, I promise. Well, I guess that about wraps it up. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope these tips were helpful for you. If you are going to take the CELTA, or if you're thinking about taking the CELTA, or maybe you're in the middle of taking the CELTA, good luck. You'll have a great experience. I promise every struggle is worth the pain. You'll feel really proud of yourself at the end, and it's totally worth it. Let me know in the comments below what your situation with the CELTA is, and as always, ask me any questions you have, comment down below, send me a private message, anything like that, and I'll help you out in the best way that I can. And good luck, you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Next time I talk to you, I will probably be in Hong Kong. So, let's do this, people! Peace out. I don't know how to end this, so bye.